Hey, my name's Kyle, and I'm making a game for the 7 Day Roguelike. Basically, at this point, I'm about halfway through it, or at least I like to think so. Um, Basically, have a little server that I'm running off of Grails. Through REST, I'm gonna talk to my client, which will be the game. And yeah, got a basic start on the game. I'll show it to you right here. So you can move the little dude around. And I've also got it so the game creates a random dungeon and does that every time you start up the game, basically. So hopefully when I click this button it'll be completely different. And it's completely different. So yeah, it's basically in the middle of creating a chest class to hold all the treasures. And sort of just created the chest class and was going to start the piece where it randomly generates an item with a whole bunch of attributes or whatever whenever you open that chest or create that chest or whatever. So I was going to do that by whenever you create the chest, just create an item, and then I was going to have a bunch of item types here. So that would be like armor or treasure, I guess. Actually, like maybe like gold or something, or you know, a weapon or something. Just a few little types to try and make it a bit easier for the random generation. So, created a static method here. Yeah, so I'll just, don't have that many types, so I don't really care too much about how pretty this looks, but so if it's armor, probably create like an armor class here. Extend it from my item class. Yeah, so probably don't need to display it. We might. So just throw a texture on there. And I've created an interface that lets me know if something's got a texture on it, which is basically drawable or drawable. So basically that just passes gets called in my little game screen here. So in the render we update the logics, the camera position, update the camera, update the tile set, and then I just throw it to my controller, which is, right now it's just got the player, but obviously I'd have to have a list of like drawable or draw import or whatever, and then loop through those and draw each one. But anyways, back to the armor class. So I have a few methods here on the item that get called through your inventory. So a player has an inventory, and an inventory has like a list of items, and then it has a separate list of active items. So basically for each update loop it goes through the active items and calls like an effect that we want to have on each update. And basically, I don't think with an armor class you'd want to affect the player every time the game updated, which is why I also had an effect when you select it from your inventory. So you'd be like equipping your suit of armor, or boots of banishing, I don't know, whatever. So then it also has another method for when you deactivate it, basically. So you can kind of use those in conjunction with each other to, like, change the player's armor rating up and then change it down when they deactivate it or whatever. So I think we'll override those two in this class. So nothing interesting in the super methods, you can just get rid of that. So basically an armor, I guess, would have an armor rating. We'll just use like an int or something. Maybe we could add like damage or something later, but for right now, let's do that. So then, player. Okay, so if you had an integer on the player that said like, your armor level was a number, and if you added to it in the activate, and then subtracted from it in the deactivated. Crap, why was that? Anyways, whatever. I came to the conclusion that was a bad idea. So I created this map of floats. Shit. So, sorry, this has to be a float. Basically, on the player, there's a hash map of items, and then a whole bunch of floats. So basically, you stick it in there, and then whenever you get damaged, it goes and grabs the armor level, but it loops through all the values there and then calculates your armor level. So I thought that was a better idea than just adding to an armor level and then subtracting. I can't remember why. But I will trust my past self and trust in my past self's decision. So anyways, what's this red stuff here? Oh, okay. So yeah, so reactivate it. We want the player to add armor to its list of armor. So we'll go like add itself, and then the armor rating, and then when it's done, we'll remove the armor level. Cool. So now when you select it from your inventory, it will add the armor rating to the level of armor that it's calculating. And then when you deactivate it, it will remove it from that list. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's probably like better things you could do with that, but this is a 7-day roguelike. It's not a 7-month roguelike, so that'll work for that. So all right, so we'll just create our armor. Probably spelling that wrong. Let me check. You guys can call me all idiots. All right. Well, whatever. Use the American spelling, even though I'm Canadian. Actually, screw that. I'm using Canadian spelling. Take that, America. Yeah, that's right. There's a U. Oops. Probably don't want to call it class. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so there we basically got that. Armor. Okay, so just grab a random integer, and we'll have to create a setter for this. Actually, we'll do that for texture too. Actually, we'll do both, because that would be smart. So armor class, set armor rating, do it with the random. And then, oh crap. My brain is broken. I don't remember how to put it into a float. And you just cast it. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess we could just do that. For anybody learning how to program, please avert your eyes. This is not how you should program. Actually, never mind. right. Cool. Yeah, so, okay, basically, so we're on a random item. There's only 3 item types, so we'll just do random dot mix in 3. Oops. Actually, we want 2 because it starts at 0. So 0, 2, 0. Alright, so we actually want to return an item out of there, so we'll just do item. And then just do item because it's an item. Cool, so we'll just return an item. Alright, so instead of doing new item, I will just do item dot build random item within, oh shit. Right. Okay, so you just want to build a random item. We don't want to supply an item type, obviously. And I'm sure if you were watching this, you saw that coming way before I did. Cool, so that will build us a random item. And we want our chest to contain a bunch of items, so let's make a list. Item. Yeah, so I don't think initializing it there is going to be a problem. If it is, let me know. Alright. So we could take that further, and I guess having a list of one item is kind of silly. Let's do this. Oops. Just do random. So magic numbers are bad, so let's make it a little, well here, let's just do 5, and then press some buttons here. So I'm on a Mac, I'm using IntelliJ obviously. If you press Option Command C, that introduces a constant. So if any are you wondering like what on earth just happened, that's what I pressed. What do we call this? Okay, chest size, I guess. I don't know. Chest. Alright, well, so this has been 20 minutes of me yammering on. This is the first one I've made. I'm not quite sure how long I should make these, so I'm going to cut it off here. And then hopefully I will make another one.